De la musique haïtienne, sit back and relax. Meli Melo Show a informé de tout ça qu'a fait dans HMI là. Music, analyse, actualité, promotion, interview, spotlight, collaboration, live performance, fan Q&A.
Suivez tous les lundis Meli Melo Show à 20h. Meli Melo is a captivating 2-hour talk show. Meli Melo est une émission socio-culturelle animée par une équipe dynamique et professionnelle. Toutes les informations, sport, entertainment, musique, toutes les dernières infos sur l'industrie de la musique haïtienne de New York à Miami, from Boston to Atlanta. Tout ça qu'a fait dans HMI là, ou attendez sur Meli Melo Show. Meli Melo is live on YouTube and Facebook.
Fan de la musique haïtienne, sit back and relax. Meli Melo Show a informé de tout ça qu'a fait dans HMI là. Music, analyse, actualité, promotion, interview, spotlight, collaboration, live performance, fan Q&A, history, mainstream. Get all that
on Meli Melo Atlanta Show.
Have you ever found yourself embarking on a new construction or renovation project only to feel overwhelmed by the lack of expertise and time to manage it effectively? The solution you've been seeking is right here. I am Sabine Apollon, the founder and CEO of Aniba Consulting, with over 2 decades of experience in design, construction, and commercial real estate. I'm your dedicated partner in success. I'll assist you in identifying and navigating the intricate details of your project, dealing with local jurisdictions, coordinating with general contractors and subcontractors, even managing schedules and budgets. It all can become daunting and time-consuming. At Aniba Consulting, we specialize in making projects small or complex, manageable, and stress-free. We act as your advocates throughout the entire process, safeguarding both your financial and personal interests. Helping you deliver your perfect project is our top priority. Together, we will bring your vision to life.
Bonsoir tout le monde, Orly la rivière, Nulu. Et actuellement, en Atlanta, je devrais dire que à chaque fois, là, il y a un show que je connais qui a fait des positif, c'est Meli Melo Show. Depuis là, c'est chose ça me garde. C'est lui me supporter, alors me conseiller nous faire même bagarre là. Meli Melo, c'est où bon bagarre.
Meli Melo Show lié depuis que je suis venu à Atlanta, c'est lui toujours gardé. Même le New York, et lui toujours supporter. Ça son bel show, mon yo sérieux, en pile monde attendait à supporter show ça. Tout fanatique. Meli Melo Show dans Atlanta. Je suis lui campé d'elle. Attention.
radiogracefm.com.
Fan de la musique haïtienne, sit back and relax. Meli Melo Show a informé de tout ça qu'a fait dans HMI là. Music, analyse, actualité, promotion, interview, spotlight, collaboration, live performance, fan Q&A, history, mainstream. Get all that on Meli Melo Atlanta Show.
Have you ever found yourself embarking on a new construction or renovation project only to feel overwhelmed by the lack of expertise and time to manage it effectively? The solution you've been seeking is right here. I am Sabine Apollon, the founder and CEO of Aniba Consulting, with over 2 decades of experience in design, construction, and commercial real estate. I'm your dedicated partner in success. I'll assist you in identifying and navigating the intricate details of your project, dealing with local jurisdictions, coordinating with general contractors and subcontractors, even managing schedules and budgets. It all can become daunting and time-consuming. At Aniba Consulting, we specialize in making projects small or complex, manageable, and stress-free. We act as your advocates throughout the entire process, safeguarding both your financial and personal interests. Helping you deliver your perfect project is our top priority. Together, we will bring your vision to life.
Bonsoir tout le monde, Orly la rivière, Nulu. Et actuellement, à Atlanta, je devrais dire que à chaque fois, il y a un show que je connais qui fait des positif, c'est Meli Melo show. Depuis là, c'est chose ça me garde. C'est de me supporter, alors me conseiller nous faire même bagarre là. Meli Melo, c'est où? Bon bagarre.
Meli Melo Show lié depuis Dieu tu live in Atlanta, c'est lui toujours garder même le New York et lui toujours supporter, ça son bel show, moun yo sérieux, en pile moun attendel à supporter show ça, tout fanatique. Meli Melo Show dans Atlanta. Dieu tu live en PDL. Attention.
Fan de la musique haïtienne, sit back and relax. Meli Melo Show a informé de tout ça qu'a fait dans HMI là. Music, analyse, actualité, promotion, interview, spotlight, collaboration, live performance, fan Q&A, history, mainstream. Get all that on Meli Melo Atlanta Show.
Have you ever found yourself embarking on a new construction or renovation project only to feel overwhelmed by the lack of expertise and time to manage it effectively? The solution you've been seeking is right here. I am Sabine Apollon, the founder and CEO of Aniba Consulting, with over 2 decades of experience in design, construction, and commercial real estate. I'm your dedicated partner in success. I'll assist you in identifying and navigating the intricate details of your project, dealing with local jurisdictions, coordinating with general contractors and subcontractors, even managing schedules and budgets. It all can become daunting and time-consuming. At Aniba Consulting, we specialize in making projects small or complex, manageable, and stress-free. We act as your advocates throughout the entire process, safeguarding both your financial and personal interests. Helping you deliver your perfect project is our top priority. Together, we will bring your vision to life.
Suivez tous les lundis Meli Melo Show à 20h. Meli Melo is a captivating 2-hour talk show. Meli Melo est une émission socio-culturelle animée par une équipe dynamique et professionnelle. Toutes les informations, sport, entertainment, musique, toutes les dernières infos sur l'industrie de la musique haïtienne de New York à Miami, from Boston to Atlanta. Tout ça qu'a fait dans HMI là, wap tandel sous Meli Melo Show. Meli Melo is live on YouTube and Facebook every Monday.
Et bienvenue sur Meli Melo. Et encore nous dire merci parce que je dis à vous répondre à l'appel. C'est un show hebdomadaire chaque lundi 7h pour 9h. Alors jeudi là, nous avons une émission qui est très chargée et nous avons deux invités. Premier invité m'a quitté Bibine, introduis-le. Bibine, comment est? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. Très bien. M'oblige qu'un bel frère. Affaire timide là, non, s'il vous plaît.
Never.
Yes. Et avant ça, tout me faut m'excuser beaucoup d'auditeurs parce que nous avons un petit problème technique. Nous plus sur YouTube qu'on y a là et pendant qu'on n'a pas arrangé Facebook. Alors, Bibine.
Yes.
Microphone is yours.
Well, hello, Gina. Hello. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Yes.
How are you?
Good. Happy to be here. And you know what? Another day and another check mark. And I'm still alive. I'm still here.
Yes,
healthy and all. So,
yes.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen
to that.
So tonight we have a phenomenal guest and someone who I've been fortunate to know for quite a while. But she is, I think her resume is probably an encyclopedia.
Yes.
But today we're going to focus on certain areas of, and our guest is Miss Edwige Jean-François. And for those of you who may know her previously in her journalism experience and expertise, but now she is but I'm not going to spoil it. I want her to tell her synopsis of her career, but she now is at GSU as an executive director. But welcome, Edwige. We are so happy to have you. We're so honored to have you. I think we're all on edge because you're such a pro.
Oh, no, we make the worst. I'm the worst on the other side of the mic, so I'm just gonna follow your lead. And it's my honor to be here with all of you this evening. And I'm always very, very gratified to be among, my people, the Haitian community. And so thank you for the invitation and happy to be here.
Absolutely. So let's get started because I know we have so many questions and so much information to share, but would love just for you to just say who you are, just again in a small snippet and where you are today, which is most important. And then so we can get the conversation started.
Of course. Well, I'm here in Atlanta. I have been, in Atlanta I first moved in Atlanta in 1996. So to date myself, as a kid to start a journalism position here. And presently I'm executive director for the Center for Studies on Africa and its Diaspora at Georgia State University. The center, I like to call it the place where the academy and the public square meet, because the academy sometimes can be opaque and people can feel intimidated by the research and the scholarship. And GSU is an incredible institution with incredible scholars. So my approach in bringing together the Africa and the African diaspora and the narratives is to really engage with the public. And we have a number of initiatives that really promote what we do. One of our signature initiatives is called the CSAD Global Readathon. It was a way to engage the global public with reading. And what it is every year for Black History Month, we have a number of countries who are partners with the Readathon. And we select books from across the diaspora And it's a live virtual event where if you're in Ghana, you're in Haiti, and we're all reading each other's book. And we've had a number of Asian authors participate, including Edwige Datsika, Miriam Chansey, and it's incredibly engaging. We also have a number of verticals, one being HHSC, which is the Hip Hop Studies Consortium. We all know hip hop has sort of become a global phenomenon. It just turned 50 2 years ago, I think. Right, exactly.
Last year, right?
And so we have an entire platform, an entire research vertical around hip hop because it's so global, as we all know, Wyclef, and now you have a number of Nigerian artists like Burna Boys who are really sort of like part of the hip hop culture. And also there's research. The director of academic at the center is a prolific scholar and researcher. And one of the research projects going on right now is a particular Georgia County, Harris County, where she's looking at land records, deeds to sort of connect enslavers with the folks that were enslaved. So there's a number of verticals, and just to put a bit of a plug is on April 27th, the center has a film festival coming up. That will have 2 Haitian films featured, True North by Michelle Stephenson. Some of you may be familiar with her. And she also did Stateless many years ago. And there's the film Manasara, which is a film by Etan Dupin, and Lulan Childs is going to be here in Atlanta and will be part of that festival. I'd love for all of you to talk to them if there's an opportunity. Yes. And so that's just a snippet of what the center does. And the importance of Africa and the African diaspora when we think about it, and obviously the history, the research, but also let's look at the modern Africa, right? A continent of more than 1 billion people. Nigeria alone has 200 million people. It is the fastest Black immigrant growth in the US. Atlanta, as the cradle of the civil rights movement, has become sort of like the epicenter of this sort of diasporic culture. This stew, this gumbo, if you will, this chaka of culture and people. Meli Melo, right? Anyway, so that's just a snippet of what I do now in my current role, which I began in 2022 and has been really fulfilling and really enriching. GSU with more than 53,000 students, more than 100 countries represented, and then some 30 odd countries across Africa in the College of Arts and Sciences alone, which is the college where I am. So where am I looking, just to be sure? Am I looking up or am I looking?
That's yours.
That's mine. Okay, got it. I just want to make sure. Okay.
That's yours. But I mean, I know you have such a depth of just different tranches of your life and career and expertise, but specifically in your journey of journalism, can you just give a little peek of how did you get into that?
You know, this question always warms my heart because a former colleague of mine at CNN posted this really beautiful post recently saying that you have to prepare for the place you are going. So when you get that phone call, you're ready to go. And she talked about how she wanted to be a reporter. And I would sit with him at the kitchen table. And I remember this vividly. You know, he'd come home, maman qui ton petit chocolat, un petit thé, un petit la bouillie on the table, un petit pain. So we'd sit there and we would watch Nightline and we would be talking about the news. And when, you know, images would come that were negative images, he would say, you know, basically saying, know who you are.
Right,
and so it was this news education that I never realized was my introduction to news because he was such a news buff and those conversations. So fast forward, go to college, really thinking I would go to grad school to become an attorney, an English professor, and journalism. And journalism literally was just like, okay, I know what an attorney does. I know what a professor kind of sort of does, of course, but I didn't know what a journalist did. So I figured I'll go to journalism school. If it doesn't work out, I have two other options. The rest, as they say, is history. So upon graduating, I did 6 months as a research assistant, and then I got my first job at ABC News in New York, which is crazy when you think about the media business, that I was able to land this job at a major network for the Peter Jennings. I started on the desk and then was like there working in the Peter Jennings show. Anyway, so fast forward, a career that where I worked at different radio stations and different television networks and different news agencies like Associated Press and Reuters. And sort of like my coming up in the industry really was in Washington, because I started working in Washington when I was in my 20s. So really have spanned the gamut of covering Capitol Hill, the courts. I was assigned to the White House for a time while I worked at Associated Press. This was even before I began at CNN. And it was surreal for me because I remember the first day where you're going to the White House and there's a little guard shack and you have to kind of go through security. And so I'm walking into the press briefing room and I'm like, seriously? You know, it was just like surreal.
Right.
It was just surreal because
like, is this really me?
and it's nothing, you know. I wish I could tell you this was something I planned from A, B to C. It really, the preparation I think for me is spiritual. And I know, Gina, you're very grounded in the church as well. And everything I take back to my faith, God, and my parents. The Haitian parents who were hardworking, who didn't understand the educational system here because they didn't know what it was about, very opaque. And Sabine, when I was reading your own bio, when you said your parents, you know, pressed upon you the value of education, I think that is so quintessentially Haitian.
Absolutely.
So this journey is like, c'est l'école or nothing, you know? And so that's really how my career in journalism began, and working in Washington, and then later on transitioning to an international global career during my time at CNN.
Yeah. What I love about your story is just how you got, you know, that moment that you spent, that precious time you spent with your dad, right? Really changed your whole outlook.
The trajectory of
of how you viewed journalism. Like that was your introduction right there.
Absolutely.
So that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I would love for you, because I know there's so many stories that you can share about in journalism, but what is one that hits home that you think that you can share with our community about how, because I know we spoke and you mentioned about the tremblement de terre, something that will forever be marked in our Haitian culture. Can you kind of share with the community, what was your experience with that?
And your perspective as a journalist.
Absolutely. Well, it's a long story. Feel free to interject, right? And so it truly is for me the most important work I've ever done. It doesn't matter where I've been, other parts of the world, domestic, international, regional. It truly is, because in journalism, the tenet of the profession is you cannot mix the personal with the professional. So when you cover a story, you have to have a measure of being stoic. You have to be fair. You can't be impartial. Your emotion can't come into it. And so to be at a point where you're a working journalist, and really one of the defining stories of 2010, of probably of we can say of really the past almost 2 decades, right, since it's happened. And so at the time, I was working at CNN here in Atlanta, and I remember this vividly. It was about 4:55, the announcement came on that on the TV, saw it just like anybody else sitting on my desk, that a quake had happened in Haiti. And I remember one of the first interviews CNN had was Ray Joseph. I don't know if you remember. He founded Haitian newspaper, former ambassador, I believe. He came on, and I immediately called, and I talked to two people in Haiti, and then the phone went dead. And so I went into the newsroom. I kind of said what I knew. I got on air, and I reported the little bit of information that I had. And as it is, when you work in the news industry, you generally, if you work in what's called breaking news, which means there's a fire, there's a plane crash, you keep a packed bag. Because it's that
you just never know.
You never know. The phone call comes,
Right.
it's just like, bye, I gotta go. And so it was literally, okay, we've booked you on a flight to Miami. From Miami, you're gonna pick up, a group of you will meet there. You'll get on a plane, you'll head to Haiti. And I remember running home, opening the closet, just throwing winter, summer, fall, didn't know, just threw some clothes in a bag and just headed out. And so we get on a plane. It was about a team of 15 people that included Dr. Sanjay Gupta, like a small team. And we arrived within the first 24 hours of the quake. The quake happened, 5 p.m. the day before. We got there by mid-afternoon. So got off the plane and saw the President Préval, on the tarmac. And as I was saying to you, Sabine, that interview that I think many, many Haitians saw when Sanjay said, what are you doing at the airport? What happened? And he said, my palace has collapsed. My home has collapsed. And then he said to him, where are you going to sleep tonight? And he said, I don't know. So imagine, this is the president of a country. So you can only imagine a country as vulnerable as Haiti. And so we sort of make our way out at the airport, get rental cars. And the way it works, you arrive, you go, and you're like, how many cars do you have? We're going to take all of them. And it was just like, who drives a Standard? It was literally like that, right? And so the image that I remember is as we drove the first sight, there was sort of like a mist, a soot covering the air. And as you got in, you begin to see dead bodies everywhere.
My goodness.
Rigor mortis had already set in some cases, and it was devastating. And should I continue? Or is it, yeah, I can continue. Okay.
No, good.
I'm good. Okay. And so anyway, we got to a hotel. Ended up spending about a month in Haiti, and let me just sort of tell you some key moments that I remember, because obviously there's a lot. I mentioned the first moment arriving. I mentioned that at the first night we got there, CNN had rented the Plaza Hotel on the Champ de Mars. And one of the first nights, there was rumor of a tsunami. And so a wave of people, because remember the Asian tsunami, I just remember a wave of people, just a mass of people running, screaming, the fear. And in the early days, we all slept with our clothes on because the aftershocks, you never know, the aftershocks were so severe. And so there was that. And then just the dead bodies, they were collecting dead bodies. There were so many, they had dump trucks. So we would stand on the balcony of our hotel and just all day, the dump trucks. And I remember in one particular moment, there was a woman on a pile. She was at the top of a pile on her back. And my own mother was supposed to have gone to Haiti the week before, but I changed her flight. To the week after. Otherwise, she would have been there. But it was just complete devastation. It was horror. There were burning bodies on the street because there were so many, and sort of like the stench, the sadness, but also the resilience, the resilience of the Haitian people. I continue to say how they got through what was happening to them. Yeah. Because even though I was there, I was in a bubble, we had everything we needed, we're in a hotel room, but day to day to be out and see the Haitian community. And one of the things that was very gratifying for me, because I'm Haitian, because I speak Creole, and there were two of us Haitian Americans on the team. It was myself and Vladimir Dutier, who's now at CBS. And so they would come to me, they would hand me pieces of paper with the names of family members and say, really, ma tante maman, really, maman pour moi. So at the end of the workday, I'd be in my hotel calling. I'd be like, hello, c'est Edwige. Moi, rencontre ma tante. You know, she's alive. And then they're like, where is she? I was just like, she just wanted to know she's alive. And I was actually able to help an elderly woman reunite with her son. I called him. He came to get his mother, who was sitting at a church with 2 plastic bags, didn't have anything at all, was scared. And so when I think back to that period of time, and it's almost impossible to describe what it was like to be there and to have that experience, and the gratitude and faith that it instilled in me. And so when it was time to leave, I had covered so many graves that had been desecrated, decimated. My father is buried there, and I had never gone to see my father. The mausoleum, Parc du Souvenir, if you guys know, yeah. So that's what so I didn't go because I was afraid that the whole thing was going to collapse. And so I arrived and saw that it was still standing, and I just a howl and crying. And then we have a family home there that I went to visit that hadn't collapsed. So there were true miracles for me in that experience. But again, it remains the story that has impacted me the most. The work that I was able to do as a journalist, but also as a Haitian American, being able to translate and help Haitians who are vulnerable and displaced.
Quick question, and then you can go. And I'm envisioning what you just that just journey itself and just what that would look like, the smell, As a journalist, it was time for you to go, but as a Haitian, how difficult was it for you to leave?
It was incredibly difficult, and I actually didn't want to go back. That's the thing that's fascinating about Haiti. Even when you go and you're not covering a crisis, there is something so seductive about Haiti and magical, and it just captivates you and captures your imagination. Even in the midst of covering that story, and our team at one point, we had more than 70 journalists on our team working in Haiti. And it was this universal, actually what happens in news when there's a break, we're like firemen, we run to the danger. The Haiti story was so iconic. There was a waiting list of journalists who wanted to go cover Haiti. While most people are like, you don't want to go, people wanted to go because the story was just so large. And when I came back, I heard it was must-see TV for the Haitian community, that people were really watching the coverage. It was extremely difficult to come back because I remember the children I met who were in tent cities, who'd been there and didn't know when they would leave. And remember, 250,000 people died. More than 1 million people were displaced. And living in tent cities. And so the number of dead alone, they were shipping people to Titayen, the infamous Titayen, where you'd hear they would go and sort of bury the massacred. And so that's massive. And that disappeared. And I would talk to family. Imagine, it's one thing to know somebody has passed.
Okay. Just hold your thought right there. We're just going to take a quick break and come back so you can also get some water.
Of course. Take a deep breath.
All right. Just stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Fan de la musique haïtienne, sit back and relax. Meli Melo Show ap informé ou de tout sa kap fait nan Etchema la. Music, analyse, actualité, promotion, interview, spotlight, collaboration, live performance, fan Q&A, history, mainstream. Get all that on Meli Melo Atlanta Show.
Meli Melo, malheureusement, que nous devons sûrement remarquer que nous pas sur Facebook. Un petit problème technique qui peut arriver là, nous pouvons shut down, reboot up, et puis nous pouvons retourner. Alors, stay tuned, ou bien il faut connaître si Facebook va marcher, mais définitivement, YouTube va marcher. Alors, merci pour